Okay, good morning. I had to fix the camera. You were just seeing my heart. And I realized it was Valentine's Day. And I put this on and I didn't even think about it being Valentine's Day. So we don't really celebrate that in our house. But happy Valentine's Day. Happy Love Day. All right. So good morning, good morning, good morning. My name is Beth Osmer, and I'm just adjusting the camera because I have this bigger screen and then it wasn't working. So bear with me for a minute. Okay, so I'm going to be looking down. All right, my name is Beth Osmer, and welcome to the Spiritual Warrior YouTube channel. We go live every Tuesday at 8:30 a.m. Pacific with different topics, going over different topics. So today, what I'd love to go over and to talk about is how to get unstuck. So let's take a deep breath. If you're with me live or you're watching this at home, let's just take a minute. And let's just drop in. Just take a minute to feel your body. Take a minute to feel your breath and your heart. And if you're multitasking right now, just take a few seconds. All right, to come into your body, into yourself, and into your breath. Okay, so today what I'd like to talk about is how to get unstuck. But let's talk about what it means to be stuck. Now, the way I'm describing stuck is when you feel like you can't move past a certain behavior, a certain relationship, job, belief system where you are trying to move forward in something or trying to get out of something or move through something, and you feel like you're not able to do it. So people often describe, oh, I feel stuck at this job, or I feel stuck in this state. I feel stuck in this marriage. I feel stuck in my poverty consciousness. So what I want to talk about is like, how do we get unstuck? Okay, well, the first thing I want to talk about here is attachments. So we can only be stuck with something, in something, if we are attached to it. I apologize for the camera. Like, it's actually bugging me, but there's nothing I can do about it. The only way that we can stay stuck is through attachments. Because if we weren't attached to something or in resistance to letting it go, then we wouldn't be stuck. We wouldn't be stuck. Now, people could argue, let's just use, for example, you're in a state or a city that you want to leave. And this, I'm hearing this a lot from a lot of people, like the place that they're living is no longer aligned with their consciousness. So, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. If you can hear me, let me know in the chat because I'm on a different system right now. So if you can't hear me, please let me know. So let's just use this as an example. Let's say you want to leave. A lot of people are wanting to leave California. We left California. Let's just say that you want to leave California, but you feel stuck. Maybe your partner doesn't want to leave. Maybe you have a job there that you just can't get out of, and you're afraid if you leave California, you're not going to make the money, and you feel stuck. For a long time, I felt stuck in California, so I'm using this as an example. Now, was there a part of me that was attached to living in California at that time? Absolutely. Absolutely. Like 22 years of my life was wrapped up in California. All my, some of my friendships, my community, my daughter's friends, like I raised my little girl there. So there was a huge attachment to it. And then you add, my husband has a regular, corporate job. You add that on, and there's an attachment to the money that's coming in, all the things, right? But I still felt stuck. I still felt frustrated. I still felt like I was in a prison, so to speak. But the fact is, I wasn't. We weren't. We made choices to stay as long as we did. And some of those choices for me were rooted in fear, like how am I going to make money? How am I going to create a new community? How am I going to do all these things? So all of that created this feeling of being stuck. So when we talk about getting unstuck, it's like getting really, really clear on where you're attached to whatever it is, or person, place, thing, behavior, addiction, whatever it is, getting really clear on what your attachment is to it. And then getting really clear, and not in a blame, shame, judgment way, just get clear. Right? When we got to do honest, like these like personal inventory, so that we can get really clear on what it is that we want to create in our lives and the things we want to release and become unstuck around. So doing a personal inventory on where you're attached to the thing that you feel stuck to, and where are you in resistance to shifting it. And the resistance could be simple, like, I don't know what it'll feel like to not be stuck in this way. So I do know for a fact that I have an addiction. I'm starting to finally like come to terms with this. And because I'm coming to terms with this, I think I'm going to be able to work through it. But I have an addiction, and I finally am going to call it an addiction, to anxiety when it comes to finances. It is a full blown, like, I've been doing this pattern since I was little. Like, I came from extreme poverty where the lights would get turned off and I was wearing like used underwear and things like that. And so that poverty fear of like not knowing what's going to happen next is in me. And for me, one of the last things I've been actually looking at in my own being are my relationship to my finances. I am now, but I could have $1 million in my checking account and still feel anxiety. I could have $11 in my checking account and I would have the exact same feeling. And I'm starting to realize that I'm very attached to that feeling. That feeling like gives me this rush. It doesn't feel good, but it gives me a rush. And it gives me this false sense of motivation to change and shift, but it doesn't do anything. It's all made up. It's all made up. So I've been realizing that the reason I feel stuck financially is not from the numbers. It's not the numbers. It's my consciousness. It's my consciousness. It's the way I respond and react. And I have an absolute, well, I'm going to get there up until now because I'm shifting it, but I had an absolute thrill and addiction to the anxiety. So hence, I had an attachment to the anxiety, which means I stay stuck. So if you break this down in the things that you feel stuck in your life, look at the attachment and look at the resistance. And then I'm going to take it even further, is to look at the unconscious no. If you're not changing something in your life, there is an unconscious no. There is a reason why. So going even deeper, looking at the attachments or resistance to shifting or getting unstuck, or the story that you have. Like, I had a lot of story about leaving California. What if my husband can't get a job? What if we don't have a community there? All these story. And some of that is real, right? Like, he may not be able to get a job here right away. That wasn't the case for us. We were able to move. We manifested something different, but there was a lot of story around it. The what if game. Well, what if this happens? Even though my soul, my consciousness was screaming to get out of there. So looking at the stories that you have, the attachment to the story, the resistance, and then the unconscious no. If you feel stuck in a relationship, where is your resistance to leaving, especially if that relationship is not in your highest good? And you can come up with a million things, right? Well, we're married, which is real. All this is real. We have children. We have a house together. We have this and that and that. But at the same time, I feel stuck. And if we really want to blow it out, feeling stuck is an illusion. It is a full-blown illusion. While yes, there are some things that are real. And if you're in a marriage or a job or a city or a state, there is nothing, they say the golden handcuffs. The only thing that's keeping us attached to those things are our fears and our resistance. So to truly get unstuck from anything, it's like really starting at ground zero and really looking at your attachments and then moving out. And another reason people stay stuck, I have been working with people for 20 years. I have sat with thousands of people. I have heard thousands of stories from people. And I've supported many people in releasing and moving through their resistances and moving through that place of being stuck. But here is one common thread, and it's not bad or good or right or wrong, it just is. Many people say, not many, some say they want to get unstuck or they want to move past the limitations of their mind, or they no longer want to feel addicted to X, Y, and Z, or they want to feel joy. They want to have more community. They want to have all these things, but they're not willing to do the work to get there. They're just not, or they want it done tomorrow. Right? I've done 3 sessions of therapy. Why am I not unstuck from this thing I want to be unstuck from? Well, what makes you think that 3 sessions of therapy is going to be magical and that you're not going to have to apply it and actually put the work in to shift what it is that you want to shift? We are in a pill society. Do you know what I mean by that? Like, give me a pill and it will fix everything. We're taught that. Let me push a button on my computer and magically everything is going to appear and be better. That is not how it works. If we want anything to change or shift, even if you do get a pill, there's still work to do underneath that. The pill just helps with the symptom. There's still whatever pill there is, right? There's still work to do. So another big resistance of people not getting unstuck is they don't want to do the work. And what is the work? What's the work? The work's different for everybody, but being active towards what it is you want to shift, whether that's taking classes, whether that's meditating every day, whether if that's, I feel stuck I want to lose weight and I feel stuck. Maybe that's getting out and walking 4 nights a week. But then the resistance can come. I don't want to. It's cold. I'm tired. There's this good Netflix show on that I want. And then I feel stuck. And then I feel resentful. And then I buy this program that tells me that they're going to help me lose the weight. And it's not working. But I'm not willing to put the weight, the time, the effort, shift my diet, actually get up and move. These are real things. And let's just break it down. The last thing I'll say before we end is let's just break it down with your mindset. What if you feel stuck in depression, anxiety, and I know that there's clinical depression. I know that but let's say sadness, anxiety, low self-esteem, self-doubt, old traumas. If you feel stuck in those ways, and you are not putting in the effort to shift it and change it, whatever that looks like, getting support, working with the community, going to take a class, talking about how you feel, writing about it every day, and being intentional, it's not going to change. It's just not. It's not. There's no magic pill. And I've seen it time and time and time again. And what I see is those people that put the time and the effort in to shift their reality, to shift their way of being. It may not happen overnight, like I said, but it does happen. And the changes come and the miracles come and the freedom from whatever it is that you feel stuck in, that comes too. It's when we mail it in and say, you know what, you know how many times I've heard that from people? I've done this work before and nothing has changed. Or I did see a therapist 3 times and nothing changed. No, it is ongoing. It is an ongoing process. And the things that you are stuck around, right? The illusion of feeling stuck, and you're not putting in the work in, it's not going to change. It's not going to shift, or putting in the research to do it. And looking at the places within you where you are not in alignment with wanting to shift it. Like when we left San Francisco, I was in full alignment. We were in full alignment. I was like, body, mind, spirit, soul, ready to go. I wasn't in resistance, and it all lined up beautifully and magically. We were actually, everything worked out with my husband's job. Everything worked out perfectly because we were not in resistance. We were in alignment. When I wanted to get sober from alcohol at 28, I would have watched the wall. If someone said, Beth, you need to sit in front of the wall and watch the paint dry for 6 hours a day to get sober, I would have done it. Because every fiber of my being wanted to get sober. I wanted to change that. I was sick of being stuck in that addiction. I was sick of that. It took me a while to get there, but finally I was like, I'm done. I will do whatever it takes to get unstuck from the rat race of drinking, which honestly that takes work. You got to get underneath, like, what have I been medicating? But at that point, I would have done anything. I did rehab, I did the meetings, I did therapy, I did whatever it took. And guess what? Huge benefit. But I had to get to the place of being ready on all levels of my being. So if you're stuck in something, feel stuck, just begin to get really curious, really, really curious. Okay, where am I attached? Where am I resistant? Where am I not willing to do the work and just start having a conversation about it with yourself or writing about it. That will be very illuminating. And then just be like, okay, how can I work with the resistant part? Because 80% of me wants to shift this, but this 20% is holding on for dear life and doesn't want to. Begin having a conversation with that part. What do you need from me to get unstuck? What do you need from me so we can move forward? What do you need from me to get out of this relationship that is sucking the life out of me? What do you need from me to let go of, like, putting down cigarettes or alcohol? What do you need from me to stop being addicted to low self-esteem and self-doubt? Addicted, it becomes a habit. It's like we don't want to do it, but it becomes habitual after a while. And this is the last thing I'm going to leave you with. I recently saw someone identify themselves on social media somewhere. I don't know where it was, but it was on social media. And they identified themselves as, hi, my name is Dot, and I am a disabled, I forget what they said. I am a disabled chiropractor, or I am a disabled worker. I'm a disabled something. And I just was like, it really struck me that they put the word disabled in their description. Because one, I was interested. I would love to say, well, why do you want to identify as disabled? Yes, you may be disabled, but it was just an interesting way. It would be like, I don't know, it just really hit me. And it actually kind of hurt my heart a little bit. So being really careful about how we identify. I have a fixed income. I am on a fixed income, or I am on people say that all the time, and you may be on a fixed income. But when we say it again and again and again, the universe is going to match us with that. Okay, you're on a fixed income. I'll match you on that. But we want to open up the space to let more in, and not identify by our limitations, because that continues to keep us stuck as well. And in AA, right, when you go to AA, every AA meeting is like, I'm an alcoholic. My name is Beth, and I'm an alcoholic. And for a while, that identification worked. Like I needed that. Most people needed that. Like I needed to be reminded I am an alcoholic. I'm an alcoholic. But now I'm careful about where I identify as. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so I'm going to leave you with that. Be mindful where you feel stuck. Yeah. See, I love what Doreen said. It's like he doesn't want to be, how I'm reading your message is that her husband's a paraplegic, but he doesn't, there's so much more to him than that, you know? We are so much more than our limitations. We are not our limitations. Maybe we start identifying as, my name is Beth and I am an awesome human being. Or my name is Beth and I kick ass. My name is Beth and I am a beautiful, confident woman. My name is Doreen and I am an amazing, confident, courageous woman. That's so much more powerful, right? But so recap, whatever you're stuck in, start doing the inventory on where you're resistant and where you're attached, looking at your unconscious no, and then begin to put the work in to shift whatever it is that you're ready to shift. All right, my name is Beth Osmer. I am a survivor and a badass wife. Yes. Thank you so much. I love you. See, that's so fucking powerful. Oh, what badass warrior. I thought you said wife. And I was like, hell yeah, you're a badass wife. That's so powerful. I'm going to go through and read your comments. All right. My name is Beth Osmer, and I will be back here at 8:30 a.m. Pacific next Tuesday. And here's what I want to share with you as well. Coming up the week of the 20th, I believe we start on the 21st, I'm hosting a 3-day free live event called No More or Heal Your Inner Lone Wolf. We're going to be talking about lone wolf syndrome. Those of us that were like, I want to do it all on my own syndrome. And you get to come out and be in the pack, get help, get support in all areas of your life. So stay tuned for that. And I will see you next Tuesday. Thank you for being here.